Hello, everybody. You're watching The Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. Oh, yeah. Liz Warren, boy, she's a real progressive. If your definition of progressive is a corporate Democrat that takes money and believes that socialism is bad, if that's what you mean, then yeah, then ExxonMobil is an environmental protection company. Warren will forego big money donors in the primary, but not the general election. I do not believe in unilateral disarmament. She said this in February when she announced. Here's how she said it. And she's already gone back on her word now. She's already started to go back on her word. But even back in February, this is a ridiculous statement. This is like an addict saying, I'm going to be sober, for a year, but then next year we're gonna light it up. Like I turn 30 next year, so then I got to party on my 30th, but I'm going to be sober until then. Here's what she said.
Massachusetts Senator and Democratic presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren just blew up her fundraising operation, swearing off big-ticket fundraising events and calls to wealthy donors in favor, the Wall Street Journal reports, of pay-what-you-can events. Is a major departure from the usual presidential campaign. Here to talk about the decision and others in her campaign, Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren. Senator, what caused this decision? What does it mean for you?
So look, we've got a problem in democracy right now, and that is that money just has too much influence in Washington. And we have a chance right now.
Then why are you going to take it to the general? Like she says that, which is like, oh, that's a great statement. This is how skilled she is at tricking people into thinking that she's a real progressive. She makes that statement. She's so right. We got to get money out of politics. But then just watch what she says right after that.
A Democratic primary. We're in a primary. It's Democrats against Democrats. To say, here's how we're going to do this. We're going to build from the grassroots. We're actually going to build a foundation for the Democratic Party that is really about face-to-face, person-to-person, neighbor-to-neighbor, people who are engaged in this campaign, whether they can give $50 or thousands of dollars. What we care about is that we have a whole movement of engaged people who are going to help us get elected, not just to the White House, but help us take Congress, help us take state houses, help us take the governor's mansions, and help us have the momentum we're going to need to make the changes once we're elected. This is about how we build real change. So I'm excited about it.
So here's my question. You've been in politics for a little while. You've just recently reelected, and
that's
during
right.
that
One
time,
Senate term,
one Senate term, right? So, and during that time, you've done calls to wealthy donors. You've done big ticket fundraisers. You put together a pretty good war chest. I think about $11 million that you had amassed. What does that say about what you were doing before? If this is the right way to do it now, why now and why not before?
So look, I've never actually been in a deeply competitive primary.
I've never had to run under the scrutiny of the public eye where I actually had to stand for something. I was just always running as a senator where I could just say two-faced, double-talky things, and only the people of Massachusetts would swallow my bullshit. But now I got to try to swallow it across all of America, and people are paying more attention now that I want to be president. So I got to come up with some new ways to sling bullshit.
I get it. Republicans come to the table armed to the teeth. They've got all of their donors, their wealthy donors. They've got their super PACs. They've got their dark money. They got everything going for them. And I'm just going to be blunt. I do not believe in unilateral disarmament. We got to go into these fights, and we got to be willing to win these fights.
So this just applies to the primary. Like, were you to get the nomination, or anyone else to get the nomination, like, just raise all the money you can, however you can.
Yes, but here's what I want you to see that's different about it, Chris. Think about the difference once we're down to the two candidates. If the Democrats have spent the next year in a primary building this thing face-to-face, person-to-person, neighbor-to-neighbor across the country, think of the kind of foundation that we have laid down so that when we're really up against it in the general election, it's not just money to fund television ads. It's all the folks who'll do the door knocking. It's all the folks who'll make the phone calls. It's all the folks who'll reach out to their network, because you know how we're going to win in 2020? It's going to be big. It's going to be people who voted for Donald Trump last time around. It's going to be people who haven't voted at all.
What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? You started the interview saying, we got to get the money out of politics. And now you're saying we'll have this infrastructure to get volunteers to knock on doors, so it'll still be okay then to take big money out of politics, to get big money from politics? So you're in favor of, so you're just saying this in the primary to trick progressives or not as informed, neoliberal, people who like, well, I liked Bernie, but I don't know, he was pie in the sky, whatever, those sort of not full-blown neoliberals, but just not paying as much of attention, neoliberalese, to think that you're progressive, and then you're not. And that's like, we got to just do whatever we can to beat Trump. So you're going to take billionaire donors, because if you take billionaire donors, guess what? You're beholden to them. So then any of these progressive policies that you say that you for, this is all she does is this fucking double talky bullshit. Like green up the military. Oh man, yes. A green imperial army. That'll be so great. Rockets with, eco painted on the side. That's going to mean the world to the people in Yemen. They're just going to love that when Saudi Arabia bombs them with American weapons that have a leaf on them.
It's going to be people who see a vision and a way to make this democracy work, not just for the rich and the powerful, but make this democracy.
She just takes stuff Bernie Sanders said 3 years ago and God.
Work for everyone.
Final question on this, and I want to ask a few other questions about some stuff that is happening in the campaign, a proposal you put forward. But for this final question, I guess the question is, how much is this an either or, right? There are campaigns that are able to build both a sort of that kind of grassroots fundraising machinery and also wealthy donors and also do big ticket fundraising. What does it mean for a candidate's time? Why make this sort of decision?
Well, see, that's the real point. The best estimates are that most candidates for office are spending about 70% of their time with millionaires and billionaires, spending it behind closed doors at fancy cocktail receptions and private dinners in mansions. Let me tell you what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to do call time tonight. You know what call time is.
I do know what call time is.
This is when you call and say
It gives me a stomach ache, and
you.
I don't even have to do call time.
Well, I am doing call time tonight and tomorrow night and the next night, but here's the deal. The people I'm calling to say thank you to, I'm going to call not based on how much money they kicked in. I'm just going to pick these numbers up randomly, and I'm going to call people and say, thank you very much for being part of this. Thank you for going.
But you're still taking money from billionaires. She's so full of shit. This was back in February. Oh, this just dropped today. Elizabeth Warren's campaign turned to a big donor to pay for the DNC voter database despite her fundraising pledge. What is the DNC voter database? This is how the DNC runs their operation, if you're wondering how full of shit the Democratic Party is. The National Voter File is a pool of data about millions of people that presidential campaigns use as a foundation for their own private data as they identify and track support over time, is managed by the DNC, and costs campaigns $175,000. So you have to get this list, you have to pay $175,000. So she had a rich donor pay this. It's the equivalent, and her office says, well, no, we didn't take money from it. Well, she's not going against her word. Hey, we'd like this list. Hey, rich guy, would you mind paying it? Sure. Oh, he's not going to, 175 grand? 175 grand. Nah, that's not going to come with any strings attached. That's not going to come with any strings attached. She's great. She's the worst. She's such a double talker. It's unbelievable, but she says it all nice and folksy, and I'm from Oklahoma. I mean, it's just like, ugh. If you ever want to know what a female Joe Biden sounds like, there it is. As part of the agreement Warren signed with the DNC to access the voter files, so of course they're not going to it's 175 grand and an ounce of blood, and you got to sign a devil's deal. She is slated to appear at major party fundraiser in San Francisco next month. So she's going to be in August up in San Francisco, but I'm sure it's a fundraiser for like 5, 10 regular people. Like she said, I'm going to call anybody, not just the big donors. Yeah, you're going to call a $10 donor, I'm sure, like 5 of them. But I bet you these folks are going to get phone calls, right? According to a copy of the invitation, donors will be able to pay $10,000 that she paid for a private cocktail dinner reception. $50,000 ticket gets you premium seating and a photo opportunity. Boy, Liz, you're such a progressive. You're such a fake progressive. It's maddening. It's maddening to listen to them talk. You just heard what she said. And now, so she has a rich person pay 175 grand to get their donor file, and she has to do this agreement where she's going to go, these are rich donors. You couldn't last 5 months on your half-assed, I'm not going to take corporate money during the primary. You couldn't even last 5 months into there hasn't even been a vote yet. There's only been one debate, and you're already sold out. It's miraculous how full of shit these people are. It's mind-numbing. And they're hoping you don't pay attention. They're hoping you just watch CNN and go, boy, she's tough. And you watch part of that interview I just showed you and, yeah, Liz, I like the way she talks. And you get sucked into the stupid identity politics. Identity politics is so good at warping the American brain so it votes against its own interests. She is a rich capitalist. She is a rich capitalist. She's the one when at the State of the Union in February, she stood and clapped when Trump said, she stood and clapped when she did that, right? She stood and clapped. Let me show you that photo real quick, folks. That's Liz Warren standing and clapping. That's the State of the Union in February. There's Bernie Sanders sitting. There's Tim Kaine. Ha ha, I'm a sellout piece of shit. Look at them, all Democrats standing. Bernie Sanders is sitting. This is from the State of the Union in February. There it is. Jacobin reported it, February 10th, 2019. There she is standing. Disappointing, Elizabeth Warren stands up and applauds Trump's promise that America will never be a socialist country. That's who Liz Warren is. That's who Liz Warren is. If you have any questions, any doubts as to who she is, that's what she does, man. That's what Liz Warren does. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. They're using Liz Warren to peel away progressive votes to prop up Kamala. Biden got taken out in the first round of the debates. Beto, all theirs, they're trying everything. Oh, a gay guy. Oh, Uncle Joe. Liz Warren's goal is to take out Bernie, and it'll be a Kamala Liz Warren ticket or something like that to screw over Bernie. That's what it's shaping up to be. I don't trust Elizabeth Warren when she talks. I don't believe she believes what she's saying. When you watch her, I don't believe she believes what she's saying. I believe Bernie Sanders because he's been saying it for 40 years. I believe most of what Tulsi says. She can be a little hawkish because she's ex-military sometimes, but she seems like someone who's actually progressing. She is a real progressive. Was raised in this Hindu kind of cult thing, and she's progressed. But I don't trust Liz Warren. I don't trust Kamala. I will not trust Joe Biden. I don't trust them. They're just power hungry and they're double talking liars. As I just showed you. That's why you guys get your news here. That's why you come online to get your news, because you know CNN's not going to show you this. They're not going to show you this. MSNBC's not going to show you this. Fox is going to prop her up as the front runner because she'll be a great corporate Democratic president. If well, first of all, Trump will probably crush her. But if she does become president, nothing will change. She'll be at war. Massachusetts has, defense contractor jobs in Massachusetts. I'm American job. She'll play that. That's what she does. Ugh. Thanks for supporting the show, everybody. Like, share, subscribe these videos. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. To support the show, Rokfin.com/Graham Elwood, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform, which is awesome. And then Progressive Comedy Tour, Ron Placone and I are Las Vegas, July 27th. Omaha, Nebraska, September 4th. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, September 5th. Madison, Wisconsin, September 6th. Minneapolis, Minnesota, September 7th. And Iowa City, Iowa, September 8th. Get your tickets at GrahamElwood.com. Thanks for watching.